Hola community, this is Pablo Vasquez again. Let's see what's new in Blender today. Well, this week and the last few days, the last parts of the Google Summer of Code project outliner improvements is added to Blender 2.91 alpha. So if you're familiar with the Summer of Code from last year, the outliner got lots of improvements. Really, it was a bit behind in terms of the other editors, in terms of usability, many other features such as like drag and drop for parenting multiple objects, navigation, box select, the syncing that you can sync the selection from the viewport to the with the outliner. All of that wasn't there last summer, before the last summer, and it was added by Nathan. This developer, Nathan Craddock, also is participating of Blender Google Summer of Code this year, and the results are here. So what is there? Let's see what's there to see. So the first one, actually, it's toggling. Let's start humble and let's build up. So in this case, I'm not gonna need this file. I'm gonna start with a simple, just a little cube. So here, for example, let's say you're gonna notice now that if you are in edit mode, you see this little square down here on the left side of the outliner. What's that? That is the current mode that I am in. Let's make this slightly bigger. So that is the current mode that I am in. In the case of having multiple objects, it becomes more interesting because you can now have, if you have multiple objects selected and you are in edit mode, you can see that all of them are in edit mode. Now you can simply click on this little icon over here, and you're gonna enter or leave edit mode from each one of these objects. This is great because it can also allows you from the outliner to join other objects into edit mode. So you can do control click and it will add them or remove them from edit mode. It's a lot more simple. This is of course is limited to edit mode for the time being because that's one of the few modes that allows it, but in the future, when we have like multiple sculpt, multiple painting, it's gonna make it a lot easier. Then let's move to the other feature, left and right walk navigation. So navigation was already added there in the past, in the last 2.81 summer Google Summer of Code, but now you can also do left and right. You can do right to enter the data, just like you would expect. Left goes one level up, again closes the custom, the object data, and if you do left again, you go one up in the collections. So if you have multiple collections nested, it's much easier to just go up, and it just worked like expected. Just work as expected. There's a lot of these features is like, yeah, just what you would expect. Then include grease pencil modifiers and effects. That also is as expected, because in the here in the outliner you can see, for example, you can see modifiers. Well, now for grease pencil objects, you can also see now not only the modifiers but also the effects. So this special kind of feature that the grease pencil objects have, now you can also see them in here. Not only see them, but you can also apply other fun stuff. Right click target. This is also a bug fix more than if you have multiple objects, you're gonna notice now that when you right click, you actually see the data that is related to the object types that you are using. Also, again, more like a fix other than a new feature, but this starts to get interesting when you can use more drag and dropping. This was part of this functionality. Drag and drop for parenting was added last year. Now you can use that concept of drag and dropping for objects. So let's say I have here a monkey, and I have this little cube which already has some subsurf. Let's add some, for example, some array and a few copies. Let's say I want to copy this to the monkey. I want to add the subsurf and the array. Well, now I can just simply do modifiers, and I can drag the modifier icon on top of the monkey, and we'll copy everything, all the modifiers. Isn't that nice? Well, you can also do it with specific modifiers. If you only want the array but not the subdivision, just drag and drop the array into the monkey, and you're gonna see the arrays applied to it. That is amazing because it's again speeds up things. You don't have to like remember the shortcut to link modifiers. Control L, by the way, but this also makes everything more visual. This also works for constraints, for modifiers, for shaders of grease pencil objects. It's all consistent. More drawing. I don't know if you remember, but in 2.7, the 2.7, yeah, and 2.90, this line of the hierarchy, it was there. It kind of shows you the hierarchy, but it's not very clear. There is all this room for activity here. The line is overlapping, and it just didn't work in all cases. Now the line has been moved one way up, and it's more clear when you have multiple collections. For example, how deep you are. You can see here how many collections deep you are in the hierarchy. Now is when it gets interesting, because let's open an actual more heavy file, so more collection heavy file. This is a splash screen of 281 by Alex Trevino, and things get more interesting when you can have colors. Yes, colors. You can right click and specify a color for a collection. You're gonna see, okay, background is gonna be red, maybe the girl is gonna be like green, and the robots are gonna be kind of cyan bluish. Cool, isn't it? Isn't it? The coolest part is that this not only shows in the outliner, but everywhere. So when you add a collection instance, you're gonna see the color also here, so it's easier to spot. When you add, for example, when you want to move an object, so say I have this object, I want to move it, I'm gonna see here the color of the collection. Again, very consistent. The same for linking to a collection, also consistent. In the file browser, the idea is that it also shows there that it's just consistent. And the line that I was showing before for the hierarchy, it's also with that color. So in this case, for example, if I want to make the robots part of the girl, because now it's a robot girl, and the girl part of the background because I put it in the background, now you're gonna see the nice rainbow of colors here in the preview of the outliner. That's amazing. So the default colors that you can choose here are actually they're in Blender, but they are not hard-coded. You can change them in the preferences. You only need to go to themes, and you're gonna find here collection colors. So whatever you choose here is gonna affect all the colors that you have available. At the moment there are 8. Let us know if it's too low of a limit. It can be increased in the future, but for now I think this is more than enough for what it's available at the moment. This is just gonna change workflow so much. Before you ask, because I know you're gonna, in the comments we're gonna say this, no, it's not available yet as a color type, but it could be the same way we have random colors here. It could be added in the future as like showing the color of the collections as the objects here. Problem is though, which color should it show here? For example, the robots, the cat helmet, should it be here? Should be cyan, right? But it's also green because it's part of the girl, but it's also red because it's part of the background. So that needs to be discussed. Maybe it should be the bottom most color, like the first collection that it finds should use that color, maybe, or background. I don't know. Let us know in the comments below, sideways, up, whatever YouTube decides to put it. Isn't that amazing? All these features. Thank you, Nathan, for working so hard and to put this in the Blender 2.91 release. There are more changes that are that he worked on, like manual sorting for objects and collections in the outliner. All of that is being worked on. There is a patch already, but there's things to be decided for bones and for child object that needs some work still. There's also another feature that it allows you to, when you click on the mesh, that it will change the here the mode. It will go to the context that you have, or if you click on light, it will go to the light. There is a few other tasks that need to be tackled. Maybe they're not make it to 291, but for sure for 292. This is such an improvement. I'm so happy. This week I managed to squeeze in 1 video per week, and most of them are on functionality that it's long overdue. It's not just one fancy new feature, but it's functionally overdue, like the search or like these improvements in the outliner. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'm gonna be adding more videos and making more videos related to the Summer of Code projects next week. So I hope you had a nice week. Have a nice weekend. See you in the next video. Bye.